Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to the Sky Network Show, Season 4, Episode 4. Thank you everyone for joining in. We'll be starting in a minute. Meanwhile, let me check everything is good. Hey, hello, we are live on X. I think we are live on Facebook and YouTube as well. Thank you everyone for joining in. I hope my sound is coming good and there are no background noise this time. And we will just wait for a minute so Richie and other people can join in. Meanwhile, say hi in the chat and let me know how are you feeling today. I am feeling great because it is a time when I get to talk to the community and share my ideas. Yeah, we have Richie. Hey Richie,
Hello, hello.
hello,
How are
hello.
you, Sandeep?
I'm good, man. How are you? Been a long
Great.
time.
I know.
I had a silent and a nice place, my place to talk from. The traveling, it makes it really hard uh, to actually stay focused and
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot
you,
going on at the same time, right?
yeah, it's more like okay, it's like sending a message, and the difference is like sending a message, and when you have a time, you actually talk to the community, and you can address a lot of questions, a lot of doubts. Whereas that is like okay, announcement and announcement and announcement. That is all right. I mean, not bad, but it does not. When we are sitting together and talking and discussing the project, that is the best time. I feel.
100%.
So, how was your week, Richie?
Busy, but good. Productive. So, can't complain. We got a lot done this week, and we pushed forward this week on a few different fronts. A
Mhm.
lot of the Sky Army has participated in the claim, which is amazing, and that'll still be open till the end of till New Year's actually. So anyone who hasn't, by all means, go there, enjoy, claim, and you'll be having a few more benefits to the community before the end of mid December. Let's put it that way, in which you can participate even more and get more rewards. So I look forward to that. Thank everyone who's participated already, and I welcome everyone else who hasn't had a chance to go to my evocoindrop.com and claim your free rewards.
Yeah, and just to let everybody know that on the right top corner there is a QR code which you can scan and simply just go to evocoindrop.com and claim your evocoin. Right. All right, Richie. So today's discussion points are mainly regarding a couple of things. Like one, I wanted to talk about what happened in last 3 4 weeks in the market, right? Because we never
Yeah,
get a chance to explore that, and how it affected Sky and how it would have affected the Sky, and what are the possibilities of the market currently, right? So, what are your views? How do you see this correction? I mean, see, I do personally see all the corrections as a good news because it,
sure. It's healthy.
brings out hype and the real thing stays there. It's like it's more like a cleaning job which happens every time to time, and I've personally been here since like this would be my third bull run, right? So two bull runs and the bear markets. I mean, we have seen many things. We have seen Bitcoin drop by like
fifty
altcoin.
percent in a day, right? So like these smaller moves don't really phase people who've been in the market for a long time, because I still remember when Bitcoin was dropping 50% in a day,
Yeah.
right? And now we're getting 5 or 4% jumps and drops, and everyone's going like panicking. I was like, no, this is nothing. If you look at the charts and don't, the problem we have sometimes is we zoom in too much to one week time frame or a month time frame. But when you really zoom back and see the total history, and it looks like this, right? It doesn't look like this like we're seeing right now because we're zoomed in too much on a specific time frame, right? Bitcoin's being adopted all over the world. XRP just had, I think, two, and then another two are going to happen. ETFs that are going live, right? These are all adoption numbers. These are all great moves forward for the industry when it comes to institutions and countries using and holding Bitcoin, using and holding other cryptos for their strengths. So crypto's not going anywhere. These are just corrections. When people get too bullish and they think, oh, it's going to go tomorrow to 200,000, they over leverage, and then the market makers bring it down a little bit, and then it levels out, and then we go on to the next step, right? This is active trading, right? There's ebbs and flows to everything. Nothing ever goes up in a straight line. So we're going to have bullish months and bearish months. And if you are at the point where you've seen what happened from Bitcoin going from one something down to like 85 ish, and that panicked you, it might mean you have too much on the table, too much risking, right? Remember, always the only risk where you're willing to lose when it comes to anything investment wise. You shouldn't be behind your trading or your investment with your feelings type thing, right? It should be, here's my investment. This is why I invested in that. This is what I expect to see. And here's my outs, right? It's not going to be, hey, I'm putting everything I have into this, even stuff I need to pay for bills tomorrow, right? And then I hope tomorrow this goes up, or else I'm going to be sentimental and act emotionally, right? That's where you run into big problems. That's where you run into you being put in a spot where you end up selling on a downtrend, losing coins. It ends up flipping sometimes, and then you're buying back higher. So now you're worse than you were when you first started, and you're emotional, you're sad, you're whatever you want to call it. And that is just someone who hasn't done the research to be confident in their investments, right? And why they invested in that coin or token, and the future, why. So they invest today, for example, they think this will happen in the future, or they have a roadmap that they want to see whatever that project's milestone is going to be, right? And give yourself enough time to get to that milestone without being emotionally attached to that, right? Say, okay, until this happens, I'm not even looking at this right now. So that when things like this happen, there's the ebbs and flows, and like you saw certain coins go up and down by 50%. Like for example, Theta got up to 95 cents and back down to 30 something cents, right? This happens in the crypto markets, right? What happens in a month in the stock exchange happens in weeks in the crypto markets, because we're such a new asset still. We have to realize we're very early still, even though it feels like some people missed the boat. You haven't, right? The amount of fluctuations that can happen because there's such little liquidity, and little still billions of dollars in liquidity, right? It's not exactly little, but compared to the traditional markets and all the other ones, gold, silver, we're nowhere close to the liquidity they have. Hence, they move slower, and it takes a lot to move or drop those. As we're in crypto, it takes a lot less because it's still a really young market. So over time, that'll, like Bitcoin did. Bitcoin, when it was several years back, there's days where it would drop 50% in a day, right? And that was just Bitcoin, right? That was just crypto. And now we're seeing altcoins do that, but we're seeing Bitcoin be more resilient, right? We're seeing it go up 10, 20,000 and then shift back a little bit and then go back and forth there, right? So when it comes to the trading side of it and like the market valuation, right? One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. We set a USD value to it because we're buying and selling for that price. But at the end of the day, there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoins, right? Most people in their lifetime will never own a Bitcoin. And you have countries stockpiling, you have countries as a national tender, you have organizations and institutions all buying and holding Bitcoin. When when people aren't selling, and when people get to that point where they're strengthened in the resolution of, I'm holding my Bitcoin to this threshold because I believe in the future that it's going to be this because of whatever justification you have for that, um, that's when there's going to be that supply shock type thing. I think we're already close to that supply shock, and these shakeouts are at times manipulated to get us emotional and sell our assets out. And then when we go to sell it, when we go to buy it back, in theory, you're buying it back for more expensive, or it's not available, right? So know your worth, know what you invested in and why you invested in it, know your plateaus. If it goes up a certain percent and you're like, hey, my cash out or partial cash out is when it hits this, this, and that, you should know that before you get to those plateaus. Because in the moment, you're always going to think, and we've all thought it, it's going to keep going up, right? I'm up 80%. It's going to keep going up. Or sometimes with crypto, if you're lucky enough to get in a project that does times, not percent, I'm up 5 times my money. I should wait a little longer. It's going to go 20 times. It's going to go 30. This will be the unicorn that does a thousand times, right? That does happen once in a blue moon, but that's extremely rare. It's like winning the lottery almost sometimes. Um, you need to know before you get to your plateaus what you're going to do at that plateau, so that it's not even thinking anymore. It's just executing a plan that you've researched, you've done your research on, and you've now just been able to calmly go through that process and know I'm taking this much out of this plateau, this much of that plateau. If this happens, here's my plan, right? fa- uh, Failing to plan is planning to fail, right? That's the saying, and that holds true with everything when it comes to investments. Right now, I'm not worried at all, right? To be honest, every time we go back a little bit, it's an opportunity, right, to accumulate something that you didn't have a chance to at the higher price ranges. At least for myself, right? Um, yeah, that's the general idea. I'm not very worried or concerned about the price action. We haven't had anything significant news wise that would justify me even thinking anything different than I did 3 weeks back, right? Bitcoin hasn't changed, crypto hasn't changed. There's been no gigantic news that's going to affect us in a negative way. And sometimes, like Warren Buffett, for example, when Coke, the company, was trading at a higher valuation and then it dropped back significantly, and then he made a large investment into Coke because he said, "Hey, the price changed, but the product was the same. Nothing changed with the product. Everyone still loves Coca-Cola, right?" So he invested and then waited and had the ability to say, "Hey, I believe this will go back to or more than it was when I invested in it because the product is good. It's on the shelf. Everyone's still using it. So I'm gonna wait and see what happens here." And he made a ton of money. And this is not financial advice. Everyone, please do your own research. We are just talking about these things and giving our opinions. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to really research this and research the projects you're investing in, right? I wouldn't advise anyone who hasn't learned hundreds and hundreds of hours of studying for trading to trade this market because it's so volatile and extremes, ups and downs. Even worse, if you're leverage trading, I wouldn't advise anyone to do that. And some people are doing like 50x and stuff, which is crazy. So play it safe, play it smart, have a plan. And like Warren Buffett realized the value of things when the USD equivalent price of it may not resemble what you believe it's worth, right? But always do your own research. So those are my thoughts after several bull markets, and this no longer, like for myself, this no longer even. I look at it as if like, oh, that's okay. Like I stay on top of it. That's it. It doesn't affect me emotionally anymore. For a while, it hasn't, and I hope everyone gets to that point where they think logically, and when things happen, they just assess it. Okay, we came back. There's some flood in the market. There's some possible bill that was going to be passed but didn't get passed or something. China's trying to fund this again. China's going to ban it for the 30th time now, right? Like, if you go back and look at the history, how many times China's tried to ban crypto and then undid it, it's unreal. What are your thoughts, Sandeep?
Definitely, Richie, and I definitely would like to tell the audience our job is to educate. We discuss the ideas here, we discuss the core principles, and it is a kind of our way to give back to the community as well. So every member of Sky community is on top of the news, and don't get at least what we try to educate. And of course, you should do your own research. It is your money, you are the one responsible for it, so just make sure to do your own due diligence anytime, anywhere you put your money. It doesn't matter where you put your money.
And that's with everything,
Every
not just
penny
crypto, right?
should be thought of. Yeah, definitely. So again, coming back to our discussion about the Sky network. Also, like last couple of weeks, if you would have seen, Richie, uh, the major part of the downfall which happened, uh, it had to do with the large DEX transactions as well. And you know there was a, like for example, if you remember, there was a tweet by CJ on June 1st, if you remember, about the dark pools. and the real need for the dark pools, right? Let me see if I can share my screen
While you do
and
that,
get
I
the
think
data.
one of the large problems we have in our markets today is leverage trading, and that
Yeah,
whole operation that can take $100,000, 50 exit, and now you're swinging hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of market changing order book order, right? And that is one of the problems a big problem we have, where people can take a small amount of money, but now make it trade as if it's a lot, and that can bring down significant trading. And those same markets, right, affect the price of Bitcoin, which is ridiculous because it's going against actual paired markets. That's just one to one, and not um, the total, um, because of the transaction volume on those, like BitBuy and a few of those other ones that have leverage trading, because you're multiplying this by 50, 100 times sometimes, you're getting higher volume in value volume because the contract's so big, but there's like 150 of that in actual coins, right? I think the future of this whole market is DEXs, because you'll be able to trade actual coins and tokens, right? You have real trading volume, not simulated or whitewash trading like we know happens on these exchanges, right? Eventually, people are going to get sick of all this happening, and that's why, again, you choosing what exchange your coin or token gets listed on, right? And that they aren't doing something like that, at least for your coin, is extremely important, right? It could be your success or your demise, depending where you go. Um, it is what it is, right? So let's go over what CZ said.
Yeah.
Give
So
Vincent.
basically, what CZ said was like about like for example, if you want to trade a big order on a DEX, like on
Yeah, but even
centralization,
then, he's
just like
talking about doing perpetual dexes, right?
yeah,
You're just having the same problem again, right? A perpetual dex is just going to give you leverage trading, is it not, Sandeep?
true. But more than that, see, perpetual contracts are require. They are one of the
It's more on
financial
chain stuff.
instruments kind of required for institutional traders. Okay, so I think the requirement of perpetual trading, 100% it is there. But on the DEX, current DEXs, it cannot facilitate it. Second is the dark pool concept, right, where your trades on the DEX are not screened on blockchain before they are completed. So right now, MEV bots are huge issue with the V2
Oh yeah,
swap.
for sure.
So that is something. So I mean, basically, what I wanted to let the community know is on the same time when the CZ published it, we were already working on something which was a similar idea, and we were already into a development of a new layer, like a layer 2 blockchain. Okay, just like Optimism or ZK, a kind of a payment processing blockchain, which just it's a fully decentralized layer 2. And what it does is like it allows you to have the DEX perpetual contracts as well as peer transactions, peer-to-peer sendings, so many different type of transactions when basically two parties are getting doing a trade on anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And what it does is it could be available on Ethereum while saving the transaction costs, as well as it can be something. It is a innovative solution. Okay, it is a one of a kind which is right now not available in the market. There are companies like Hype who are doing something similar. Okay, so Hyper EVM has its own EVM as well as another layer on top of EVM, which manages the DEX where you do the basically trading of anything you want. So that
So
is one
then it
option.
just over time settles up with the main chain. So
Yes.
it's able to do a lot of transactions. Like Ethereum, for example, won't be able to do a lot of transactions at once. So the layer two would be the DEX, and then the DEX just settles up periodically, once a week, once a month, whatever that time frame is of the trading
Yeah,
that happened on that DEX.
yeah, definitely. So right now I cannot make everything public, but if you want to see, like for our community, we can definitely show a technical paper. Okay, where it's not about the exactly the same thing, but it is something like people can get basic idea about it. Like what this layer. So this is again something we can call it layer two, we can call it layer three. It doesn't matter what we call it, but it is a new network on top of a network. So basically, it technically we could call it a layer two. But if you see the architecture, it can also be called as a layer three because it has its own independent components. So yeah, let's see if I can get the technical paper. Okay. But again, just to give the basic idea, the problem was there. I mean, problem is still there in this industry that you cannot the visible liquidity and I mean, so yeah, Richie, you get the basic problem of the market, right? And what we are trying to do is we are trying to build a solution to this problem. So, for example, this is what we called a quick pay protocol internally. It will again not be with the same name, but just because we wanted to. This is just a summary which I got from the research team a couple of weeks back. Okay, I think last week I
Even
got.
having even having the proof that you have the funds that you're trading. So volume that happens on exchanges, it's just a software trading back and forth. When you deposit your funds into an exchange, they go to the hot wallet or the cold wallet, and then you're trading numbers back and forth on the exchange, right? That's why they can do a ton of volume and a lot of high number of volume, right? But there's no accountability there on who has what exactly and proving everyone has what exactly. So on the back end, they can trade on whatever, going back and forth with very, very little fees, as where they could do the same on chain because the fees would be much higher and they'd have to pay a lot more type thing, right? So um, the transparency isn't there, right? With DEXs, the transparency is there because the every single trade's on the blockchain, right? I send coins, you buy coins, and the DEX is the middleman that just facilitates one from A to B. As where exchanges, it goes back and forth on virtually traded, right? They're able to do a lot of TPS there, but you don't actually know everything that's going on there. There's no transparency, and there's a lot of manipulation that happens on exchanges as well, right? So the need for even like if we don't like, I'm not a big fan of perpetual trading, just because I think there's more harm than good when it comes to someone using a small amount of coins to make a large amount of difference there, right? Yeah, I get it. People want to trade and try making money, and they want to do 50x, so that 1% move will make a 50% profit, right? And that's the game, quote unquote. But it affects the price heavily, right? And then it hurts people as well that are invested in projects that see it drop 30-40% because of a whale that wasn't really a whale dumped the price with a sell order, a market sell order, only to then just buy it back up at a lower price and start a long trade right after. The manipulation of markets is what affects a lot of the newer people in the markets, and it gets them to the point where like, you know what, I'm out, right? This is too volatile. I don't trust this. I'm gone, right? So I think if it were to happen, it would have to be something like a dark dex where everything is still on the chain type thing, and you can see all the transactions, everything's verified. That's a starting point, right? I'm not a big fan of the concept because of the harm that it can do, right? And to be honest with you, I don't think Evolve will ever do a perpetual contract, in my opinion, just because I don't see the long term value compared to the harm that it can affect, right? I'd like to have tokenomics on every single transaction, and that happens with transactions on the chain. So the more we can get on the chain, the more volume, the better. So, and that's just my view, right? Everyone has different views on this, and at the end of the day, we all do what we think is best for the community. And so, Sandy, if you want to, let's go through this and that core
Yeah,
idea of what this is.
basically, yeah, I agree, Richie. See, perpetual contracts can manipulate markets. I agree with you there, but again, end of the day, they are contracts. They are not the same as spot, and everybody should understand that. And when it comes to contracts, I mean, it's a they different logic and the different mathematics itself. Okay, because they are derivatives end of the day. And when it comes to trading of derivatives, everybody knows what are the cautions which has to be followed, and what it does basically. It is a financial instrument made for the finance guys to uh, have, like, to enable different types of workflows. But with quick pay, what we are doing here is, we are creating a innovative layer 2 solution, where on like a blockchain like Ethereum, right? It is right now, most of the people who would be using Ethereum for trading would be either using it on the base, or Arbitrum, or any other layer 2 network. Why?
Yeah.
Because one is the gas fees, the second is the public adoption, right? Because Ethereum has been adopted by so many people. That is and the validators are so many. That is the reason it is much more secure. Okay, and
The network effect.
yes, what we are doing with the QuickPay is we are creating a new layer on top of Ethereum. Again, this is not going to be an EVM layer or a ZK layer or a Optimism or any other blockchain. It is a custom solution which we have built specifically. It is designed towards a core goal of trading. So, for example, a hyper EVM has a similar system as I said, but that also has a limit to the TPS, the transaction per second. And
Yeah.
those who have been with us already know that that is something which we are good at. Like, for example, Secure Chain does
To say the least.
yeah, 140K TPS. So,
Right?
and that again, being a layer one blockchain, it can do that. Being a layer two, we can do like millions of transactions
Yeah.
per second,
Yeah.
and that would be just not a big deal. In one single block, it will go. Okay, so that is one idea which we are working on, and so far, as you can see, as per the report from the team at the time of writing this document, the core smart contract part is already complete. So it took us like 6 months to do the research and come up with the architecture and everything. But right now we are ready to move to the second phase of the project, where would start with the building of the um, like mobile applications and the rest of the things to
Right.
interact with that smart contracts. Okay, so this is the overview of the core idea. Okay, and what it does is it creates a blockchain of duly signed transactions. Okay, and it has something called, let me, yeah, so basically it's as simple as that. You deposit once, you can transact instantly off chain. You can do it, you can meet somebody, you can do it over the phone, you can do it over the voice, you can do it, the channel is yours. It doesn't have to be internet. Okay, then also it can work, because end of the day
This
it
is
is
a
a
big
crypto.
deal. I
It
want
is
everyone
not.
to understand that that part right there, you being able to transact with someone not using internet, is one of
Yeah.
the gigantic hurdles of the crypto space. Because the traditional is, hey, what if the internet goes down? What happens to crypto? Right? And before it was, well, it stops for a little bit until the internet comes back up. But chances are we will have internet in the future, right?
Mm.
Um, you being able to transact offline if you don't have internet connection through, I believe, like Bluetooth and other means there, right, Sandeep?
I mean, yeah, any way you can communicate the signed messages to the other
Yeah.
person. As long as
So
you can communicate the transaction, you can make the transaction.
So you be able to do that offline now changes the game because you can in person go somewhere, meet up with somebody, and have a transaction between yourselves, and you don't necessarily need internet to do it because you're
Yeah,
local.
and it doesn't be broadcasted over the blockchain at the time of the transaction
Yeah,
until it is not completed. So it removes the dark. So basically, it also creates the dark pool concept, which we just saw with the CZ,
yeah.
which. is something which is a very big pain of the industry as well. Okay,
100%.
so and the problem was because again the thing is the solution which we have built is like non-custodial. We don't keep any custody. There are no like if there is an option to have a centralized component, but as long as again as that depends on the law, land of
Yeah.
the law, the legal um,
But Sandeep,
architecture
I think
with.
that at
But
the end of the day, crypto is meant to be decentralized, right? Crypto is meant for you to hold your own assets and for us to build tools that help you manage and trade and put your assets into action. So at the end of the day, the centralized exchanges that hold the coins for you, where like
exactly.
Mount Gox is an extreme example, you can have that compromised and lose all your coins because you never actually held them, right? These dexes are the future of exchanges, right? And even more, this dex that can do it offline is a next stepping stone to the end result of the dex that people will use in the future because you should hold all your assets. The problems we've had with finances is bank runs, devaluing of currencies, exchanges getting hacked, right? These are all problems from the old problems we're trying to fix. So to continue putting our coins and our assets into exchanges that are centralized and hold it for you, where you have zero, if something happens there, you don't have any control. You don't have those keys, not your crypto, right? That saying holds true from the day it was said the first time till today, right? The more solutions we can build that are decentralized as much as we possibly can, but they're still safe for the user to use, that's a stepping stone in the right direction, right? That means the government will never, or institutions, or anybody will ever be able to steal your crypto, and you'll still be able to trade it freely with others in open and fair markets that are on chain or settled on chain eventually, right? Dexes like dark dexes, and normal dexes, right? That is the way that we need to push forward. That's the decentralized future of crypto, and not going the opposite way where we're now centralized again and now we're back to square one, right? We did all this work to get to where we are. Let's not take steps back. Let's innovate. So the team, your team, has seen what CZ was talking about, and luckily enough for the amazing developers we have on this team, they're already working on a problem, a solution to fix that, because these are solutions and problems we've had for many years, not just now, right? So stuff like this is amazing.
And again, even I was amazed when the research team came up with the solution, and they were like, "Okay, you gave us the problem 6 months back. We were working on it, and here's the solution." I was like, "Okay, does it work?" They said, "Yes, we have already tested the smart contracts. We
Amazing.
have on the smart contract side, everything is good. We are good to go, and we can go ahead with the building the applications and building the consumer side of the things." I was like, okay, this is something great. And then we started with the testing of the network. So we already did the test net run, and it was amazing. We, we are moving towards now building the mobile application, and working with the legal to go because right now we are choosing the jurisdiction, and as per the jurisdiction, but we already got some green lights from a couple of jurisdictions to do it, because we are not holding anybody's coin. It is truly
Exactly.
100% decentralized, and it is fully non-custodial, as well as very robust system in a way. If you see, okay, whether you are using the internet or not, or the way you are doing the transactions, it's all your choice. It's all hold by your wallet. Everything happens by you, and we you we allow you to transact. You can transfer, you can swap, you can do peer to peer, you can do perpetuals. I mean, again, there are things which will still be needing to be built, and also jurisdictions takes a big role when it comes to payment provider solution, like payment solutions. So there are those limits yet as well, but I think we'll we'll cross those bridges when we reach there.
The
Okay.
other side of this is you have to work within the frameworks of regulations and the rest, but there's always going to be certain countries that are less regulatory constrictive than others, right? So I think countries really need to realize this technology is going to revolutionize and has already revolutionized the way we do finance. The more they clamp down, right, and try to restrict and like suffocate the technology, the least they're going to benefit from this technology. So we're going to see countries really advance with this and others fall behind, right? There's countries right now where you're not going to start a crypto project because the regulations there, it's not worth it. You're swimming upstream at this point, and you're going to move your project from that country to another country specifically because they're more crypto friendly and they see the value to their economies and the growth of their country to take this technology and let it thrive, right, and support it instead of trying to squish it, right, to constrain it so much where it can't even do anything. So we're seeing big sentimental shifts in multiple different countries around the world, right? You're seeing the Genius Act in the U.S. You're seeing a lot of things happening around crypto, around regulating crypto, and same thing for payment processing and DEXs. I hope to see a joint kind of realization around the world where countries realize, you know what, this is not going anywhere. Can be a benefit to our country, or we could get left behind if we don't stimulate and help this thrive, right? And hopefully they all get in line and come with common sense regulatory frameworks around the world that supports this while keeping everyone as safe as possible, right? Their job is to keep the consumer safe, right? Which is we have to realize as much as it's a pain in the butt sometimes, and certain things they do are hurdles and they make a lot of paperwork and everything else. They are trying to their best to keep the clients safe. There are a lot of scams out there, right? Unfortunately, and that's just a realization of the environment that we're in. But that being said, like stuff like this is the future of Dexus, right? This is the next step in making it where we're not holding any assets, step one, and that we make everything as safe and secure as possible so people can actively and freely trade between each other, make little markets between each other, right? Like this is like bartering on steroids here, right? You go to a local food market type thing and buy food with crypto offline, right? This is great. When Sadi first talked about this, um, the implications of something like this worldwide are massive, and I hope that we can start using this in the near future. That the team doesn't take too long to bring this out, right, everyone?
Definitely. Rome wasn't built in a day, and building a good tech, it takes time. There's no
Yeah,
alternative to it. So it is end of the day, it is hard work, guys, and it
sure.
is time consuming. Okay, you can do like, and again, you cannot take shortcuts here. Okay, the, it is what it is, and even I hate it so many times, but as it is part of life, and it is part of the difficulty of the deep tech as well. When you are building new tech, um, there are no schedules. Like for example, I mean, a small change can, take another 4 months. It's that
Yep.
like that. What water just went in one
I,
change. Why?
I
Because
think
you wanted to do, because you had to do an architecture change to facilitate some law which one government just decided to bring in. Yeah, you're so it is what it is. But we are trying again. This is also like current expectation that we should be able to go live with beta in 1 quarter. So again,
amazing.
as per the current, so I've been working with many councils and the corporate lawyers who identify different jurisdictions which we could set and approach those jurisdictions. So we are right now going with a couple of verification with, so two of them already came up green. So
Perfect.
things are looking good. So far so good. And again, if the challenges comes, we are going to be here to solve it. It's not that okay, challenges will not come. They will definitely come. It is part of building new things, and we'll keep pushing. Okay, but this is something which is a amazing tech, because this is something which was very much required by Sky as well. Because on the Dex part, we didn't build anything new. We were still using the PancakeSwap v2 and all the standard Dex contracts. Because why? One, it works, right? And There's a clear,
Reliable.
yeah, reliable, and there's a clear rule: don't fix the thing which is working, right? So we don't
It
fix
will
the
don't
thing.
fix that for sure.
Yeah, but we were looking forward to a new decks, and so for example, those who have been with us like 1 year back, we were having this discussion on building a order book decks. Okay, so we can again, we are planning to go ahead with the centralized exchange plan. So we are going to be bringing our own centralized exchange in like maybe 2 quarters by now. Okay, but so that part was already going on, but I am personally like the advocate of democracy and decentralization, and I was feeling a little bit of weird of doing the same thing which everybody has been doing, and taking the same route, because we haven't took the same route to success as everybody else. We have took the different approach. We have never decided the price of the sky, right? Price of the sky is one sky, guys, and always remember that. Okay, because price of the sky is what it can do, what it means to you, and you know how many places you can use it, what are the utilities of it. That's what the price of the sky is. Sky of the like price of the sky can never be done in the dollar. Also, this is something which I'm personally uh, in last 6 months, my view on global economy has found much more clarity, a lot of knowledge, meeting a lot of people, understanding so many new things which I knew nothing about.
Yeah.
Okay, has taught me one thing, that I don't trust dollar. Okay, I don't
Mhm.
trust US dollar
Why
now.
would you say that, Sandeep?
It is what it is. Okay, again, I could be wrong, but I don't trust. And I've been seeing this from the ground up, the de-dollarization campaign.
Yeah.
Everybody is doing it, and all those things are fine. But I personally believe that when any country is using a currency for making wars, I mean,
It's a problem.
it's a problem. Okay, and on top of it, if that country starts taking debt from anybody and everybody and without regulations, it's a red signal. Okay, it's a red flag for me. Which
When a country
also,
can print currency out of thin air when they need it. So, for
yeah,
example, US prints billions and billions, if not trillions of dollars every during the last several years. The supply has increased by 30-40% at times, right? And they're not making new wealth here. There's no new gold being there. There's no more gold backing these dollars, right? It's just numbers on a screen that you just add a few more zeros and hey, you have another billion. So when they can do that and then still fund wars with that and pay for things with that, what value does that have to you? Right? When someone like imagine a Monopoly game and you're playing with a few friends, and then whoever's the banker can say, "Oh, I have 1,000 Monopoly money here. You know what? I'm just gonna grab some more from the stack. I now have 10,000." And everyone else that had 1,000 is like, "Wait a second, how are you able to do that? Right? Why do you get another 10,000 and we still have 1,000, but now you have a higher threshold? Now my thousand's worth less because there's so much more money in the pool." Right? You're kind of like rigging the game here. So I don't blame you for not trusting the dollar or having doubts about the national currencies of a lot of countries, because when you can make money out of thin air just by signing bills and stuff like that and doing these processes, and then tell people, hey, we're going to tax you, we're going to pay you in this money that we made out of thin air. At a certain point, people look at that and say, hey, what is the actual value of this? Why would I want to be paid in this? Because every day they do that, the less value that dollar has, right? So over time, things get more expensive sometimes. Like, oh, it's just the economy, this and that. Well, maybe it's because there's too much money and too little services and value to justify that money, right? And over time, people start thinking, hey, I want gold, I want silver, I want crypto, because I believe that long term has a chance of going up in value, right? And or at least keeping its value, as where something that's inflationary or hyperinflationary for a lot of currencies. Next year, I'll be able to spend less, When I go to the grocery store and it costs me $200 or $160 for 3 bags of food, and it's not even like meats or anything that are more expensive. You look back, it's like, what did I actually buy here? What was that $160 worth? Not much, right? Because before you used to fill a shopping cart and have 10, 20, not 20, but 10 bags plus, and now you're at 3 bags and you're looking back like, what did I just buy that was worth $160, right? So unfortunately, you're right on that, and I think society as a whole is going to have to change their perspective of value, right? And that's going to happen naturally over time, and that'll accelerate when things happen like bank runs and the rest, because people are obviously seeing that things aren't great, the economies aren't surviving and thriving, right? They're struggling, right? Overinflation is a huge problem that crypto can solve in a lot of ways when it comes to, hey, now every single currency has a finite supply, and when they mint new currencies, we see it. If it has a max supply, we know there's only that amount. Like Bitcoin, for example, at 21 million, right? We know that at least what we're trading back and forth in, and what we're using as a currency as a means of value, there's a finite supply. We know exactly how many there are, and there's a transparent ledger of all that, right? The value in that alone is astronomical, right? Compared to what we've had our whole lives, which was just inflation, print money until it loses all value, and then start over with a new currency, right? Some African countries have gone through currencies like it's going out of style. So, yeah, I think everything the team's working on, and to go back on this point about the exchange and the development of it, um, everyone, I understand the whole concept of like, we want everything now, we want everything quick, and I want to use this tomorrow. And don't get me wrong, I want to use this tomorrow, I want to use this today, what they're building. But to do it like responsibly, take the time, do the testing, do the beta testing, and go through the issues you might run through today, build that wall strong at the base, so that when we do scale up that exchange, it doesn't run into problems, right? The more time you take today, the better path you have, or lane or highway you have in the future, right? So as much as it's frustrating sometimes that we want things like this is a great technology that we'll have access to in the future, and it's going to take time to get there, and there may be delays, there may not be delays, but at the same time, when it launches, you want it to be as robust as possible, because you don't want to have like a Mount Gox scenario where stuff happens and people lost funds and stuff like that, right? And this is different than Mount Gox by all means, but I think the more time and effort we do now, right, and that's been a thought process and vision that we have at Evolve as well. We could have easily gone to an exchange, paid money, and then got listed and took that route. But with everything happening around us, different countries and everything else, that sometimes painful time needed to slowly go through this process and make sure we're not making mistakes early, is extremely important for the long-term health of the blockchain and dexes and any innovation that we bring on the future, right? This
True.
is revolutionary. So we need the time and effort to make sure this is done right, and tested and goes through its paces before we give it to the community, because we try to give only the best to the community, right? So
That
again, everyone, give it up to your team, the Sky Army, the developers behind this. Once again, are showing you that they're doing everything possible to give you the tools and resources to thrive in this industry, right? And stay at tip of the spear, evolving with the times, right? Solving problems that we will have today and in the future. So I commend you guys again, right? This seems like every other show I'm commending the team on something, but it's justifies. You guys deserve all of it. So yeah, I'm excited to see all this come to fruition for sure.
definitely, Riji. And again, this is something for the community also. That many people might be thinking that we have been delaying the centralized exchange listing. Now we had the delay on the L Bank as well. The
Yeah,
reason is it's not that see, as you said, right? Just spending the money and listing on the centralized exchanges, it's not the real work. The real work is building a lot of things. Like for example, making the community safe from the market movements, bring making the community safe from like for example, we cannot always announce everything advance. Okay, again, it is one of the things which I don't like being in my place. Okay, but it is what it is, and there are so many things to be done, and so many relationships to be managed in order to bring a project like a see.
Yeah.
This is one clear thing that in our industry, if there is one thing which is the most hard, like I mean, with the least amount of success ratio, that would be running a layer one blockchain and taking it to the success. Okay.
Yeah.
uh, I mean, this is again my what I this is my 2 years of experience, but I think so far I haven't got around any other type of project which really needs so much of work to be successful, as well as the right path, right time, right decision making, also making the hard decisions, okay, which are not liked by everybody. That is where it becomes like a little bit hard to take those decisions when you know that you know but when it is good for the community and when it is in the right direction,
Yeah.
towards the correct direction. And again, that is, I think, also part of my responsibility, that we choose the right direction. And if the world is going with the de-dollarization, um, and whether the world goes with the de-dollarization or not, I personally believe in de-dollarization. Then it makes sense to have those things, and uh, roadmap, as well as so there is one word called metamorphosis, right? Do you know metamorphosis?
I don't know the exact description of it or the definition of it per
Let me
se,
google.
but I do understand the concept of it. Yes.
Yeah, let me google it. I think it would be can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So basically, metamorphosis is a biological process which many insects goes through after
Yeah. They
their.
both.
Yeah. Okay. And from childhood onwards, I've been very fascinated by like this particular biological process, right? Because where you are being born as a something else, and then a insect is being transformed into something else after staging. You call it staging, or it's a process. Okay.
Yep.
And I think the secure chain is now ready to go through the metamorphosis. It may take, it will take us 1 quarter, like probably 120 days, 3 months of time to go through this metamorphosis. But it is something which we are ready for that right now, and we are ready to move into that direction, which could take, it will be a decisive factor in our project as well, where will be moving from a network, just a blockchain network, a blockchain network which is 2 years old, to a blockchain network with each and every component which is built and innovatively by us. I think that is, we are about to reach there. And also, just to give brief idea, so that is the reason we are also one of the reasons which, because of which we delayed the centralized exchange listing, was one was market making, that were making the deal with market maker. So right now the current status is we have already decided to go ahead with the market maker, but they are still working on the solution where they can do the market making on Lbank as well as on GrooveX, because we are going to be listed on two exchanges at the same time. The third thing is, because we are bringing our own centralized exchange very soon, we have some good news coming up in that particular part as well. So next couple of weeks are, I mean, December is always the most adventurous month of the year. Okay. Through the holidays, but the spirit is always there. And this December, we are going to be making a lot of progress and moving into that metamorphosis, where in this 3 months, we will be like when we come out of the metamorphosis, we'll be, um a new like I don't know if we have the right images. Let me see. Yeah, so this is what metamorphosis looks like, right? From eggs, it becomes a larva to pupa, and pupa to adult. So, like eggs, we were in the stage when we started the blockchain. Um, Larva would be the stage where we went from, a single chain to multi-chain. Pupa is the stage right now we are in, okay, where we are taking the time to, spread our wings, get the blood flowing, and
Go
get
for
ready to
fly.
fly. Yeah, that's what we are about to do, guys. And it has been a amazing journey. Okay, so let me show. Okay, I think you can see this, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this is where we are right now. We were at the eggs before 2 years. We were at the larva last year. We are at the pupa right now. And yeah, we're just getting ready to start flying very soon. So that's what we have been doing. And that was the message I wanted to share with every one of you. But unfortunately, because of the time troubles and so many things came in the way to be able to be one to one with the community. Also, this is not the end. Okay, this is just first part of the metamorphism which I have just talked today. And there's going to be sessions in the future, one probably in the end of the December, one would be at the 15th of January. And I think by the 15th of January session, we should have much more concrete results to show to the community. And also, many news will come in the in between, as well as the new launches, and we are right on track as we promised. So things are going good. So, for example, here we could see the analytics, and we are making good progress when it comes to daily volumes. We are doing good with the coin mask, has been doing amazing, because see, for example, the price is quite stable or moving down, but what we can see is right now that we have, once again it is loading. Yeah, there we go. We have 494 stakers, active stakers, okay, and total 596,000 worth of CoinMask tokens staked, okay, and we have a healthy treasury balance, we have a good ROI, and today itself we were seeing we had a message from Samsung, who has been a community member for a long term, and he is the person who has been building that boat which we saw in the last show. So thank you, Samsung, for making that effort, and he's been become a part of CoinMask recently, and you know he's making progress. We have amazing Chinese community. We have great leaders from China who have been doing amazing job at being part of the operational, like day-to-day operations of the sky. That is something which is phenomenal. What they have been doing so far, and if we can see the, let's see the market how we are doing there. Okay, I think there we go. Okay, we are not doing great, but that is something to be understandable. When the market moves, it does affect the sky, and many times it multiplies the effect by the things which we were discussing just before, right? Recently, Richie, that
Yep.
it's all about fear and greed. When the market is in fear, there is always this instability. Also, because we are new and low liquidity also comes in the way, but we are not less than we are less than 3 months away from the scenario where we should not have to worry about the liquidity or the plan of not be seeing the values of sky in dollars anymore. Okay, that is something we will definitely not be doing. Okay, so again, this is not bad, because if you see like the real price of the sky on dex also, you can find on the sky mainnet, because that's where we have good amount of liquidity, as well as the right amount of trading being done, with the community being taking care of it. So for example, if we see USDT sky value here, the price of the sky would be, the correct price of the sky is in the 0.35 range. Okay, which is fair, I think. Again, when it comes to the price of the sky, price of the sky always is one sky, because the price of the sky is what you can do with sky. It doesn't matter what is the price, because see, trading is a different thing, investment is a different thing. We are not here to do that, and I do not recommend any one of you to put your money anywhere. Okay, my job is to educate people, my job is to build technology, my job is to be here, come every Saturday 2 p.m. UTC, to let the community know what I did in the past week and what I'm going to be doing in the upcoming week. So that is my responsibility, and I will take care of it for sure. Right, Richie?
Yes, sir. This is not financial advice. This is us talking about what we're building out and our opinions on what's happening around us as things happen, right? So everyone, please, I wouldn't like Sandeep saying, I wouldn't advise anyone trading. And I say that because I have personally tried to trade for months at a time, and I was literally getting up at 2, 3, 4 in the morning when I get a notification that one of my indicators got hit, and I'd have to go down to my computer and spend the next 2 hours getting out of positions and starting new positions. This market doesn't sleep, right? So normal stock markets, there's a start and a stop during the day, and then weekends, and crypto is 24/7. So unless this is a career, and I mean like you take months of just learning about how these markets move. And even then, when there's manipulation that happens, all that TA and VWAPs and moving averages and Fibonacci retracements, those are worth nothing, because at the end of the day, there are bots in this industry. There are algorithms that are made to take as much from you as possible and for you to act emotionally. So avoid it, right? I think everyone's best way forward for 99.9% of the population is to see projects like Evolve, like Sky, like Ethereum, like Cardano, whatever your preference is. And this is like your favorite soccer team, right? For what you like and what you want to use it for, everyone's choice is different than others, right? Um, do what you think has value to you, right? And think of it logically. I'm investing or I'm holding this token or coin because I'm going to use it for utility. I believe it's going to go up in value over time because of what's happening with that. Milestones, projects, decks, whatever they're creating is going to add value there, right? Um, or whatever other reasons you have. But do not make this like I'm going to stay in trade to make a little bit on this and then risk having it to lose it and using money that unfortunately is not money you have to lose, right? It's money you need now and you're trying to make a little bit more, but trading might not be the way there, right? So I'd always advise everyone to just be very cautious. It's a very, it seems like easy money at times, and it seems like you're going to pull your hair out at other times. So avoid it. Do your research. Be confident in your decisions, right? And don't sway from them. Trust in yourself. You're going to be right sometimes. You're going to be wrong sometimes. But when it comes to trading, you could be right about the value of an asset and that it's going to be more value in the future and still lose money, right? Because of the back and forth, buy, sell, buy, sell. So that being said, do your own research. Obviously, it's not advice financially. It's our opinion because of the years that we've been in this industry and the stuff we've seen come and go, and just how volatile it can be. So be safe out there and be cautious, right? And enjoy this too. This is we're at the turning of a new technology coming into fruition, into mainstream adoption, right? It's exciting times. There's a lot of opportunity everywhere, but you do have to do research, right? If you don't have a plan, your plan is failing, right? Have that ahead of time. Take your time with it. There's no rush. You're not late. You haven't missed the boat. The boat is still being built, right? We're still building all the tools for that boat to swim and survive out there. So yeah, I think we're at an exciting time in history. There's so much technology, and with blockchain and AI and everything else happening at the same time, we're going to in the next 10 years see something remarkable. And I
Yeah,
can't wait to go through that process with everybody. But that's doing that safely, right? That's doing that in a way that you guys are not going to run into a lot of walls on the way, right? Or the boat is going to sink on the way. So we're making sure that boat is secure and it doesn't have any leaks in it before it takes off the dock, right? So that's my opinion. Obviously, you do your own stuff. Everyone does what's best for them.
definitely, Ji. And also, we are having a good progress on our new swap, which is being built. So I think we
Nice.
are already tested and done with the new swap. Right now, I think analytics is still in progress. So once the analytics is also completed, the 2 years worth of all the transactions, everything is, you know, done well. We'll start with this text, and it would be an amazing tool for the community to just get started. Like for example, I was just taking it around, and I could see that the transactions are smooth and things are working good. The swaps are working, and when it comes to like doing the rest of the things, yeah, we are still on time, and the progress is as expected, so not bad. We should have stable version maybe ready in like a week or 2 weeks next. Yeah.
Amazing.
So again, Richie, the development, right? Every week we keep developing something and something and something and something, and it wouldn't have been possible without a great effort from the team who is working hard to. Again, nobody gets anything from the sky, right? It's open, it's community owned project, and still everybody's pushing hard on building new things. That's what creates real value.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think today we took a lot of time. So we should ask for the community for the questions. Uh, Also, it's already um, 8 9 minutes over our schedule as well. So probably we'll have more questions in the next week. But to answer everybody's questions, um, thank you for being here. Number one, thank you very much for being part of the Sky community. You know, and owning a blockchain is not a bad thing, right? Being the founding members, that's what it matters, and we have so many founding members of the community who have been with us for the long time, and it is not a like a week of work or a month of work or a year of work. This is something which is going for the long period, like, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. But one thing is for sure, that we are ready to what it takes to take the project to the success. That is for sure, and that's what
Yeah.
matters end of the day. Yeah. All right, I think it would be a great time to say goodbye. Thank you everyone for joining in and spending this time with us. Wishing every one of you a productive week and a success, like a happy weekend and a productive week ahead. I think I'm not going getting this weekend. This weekend has
That's
some
for
work.
sure. That's a sign of pushing forward, right? Um,
Yeah,
Unfortunately, lack of sleep comes with that a lot of times.
true. Lack of sleep, irregular times, time
Yeah,
zone differences. It's a lot. But end of the day, when I see the messages in the community to support it, that's where I get my energy from. And
100%.
yeah, you just get started on whatever is required. As I was saying, like we are ready to do what it takes, and that's what
Yep.
matters the most. All right, everyone. Wishing every one of you a very happy weekend and a productive week ahead. We'll see you next Saturday, 2 p.m. UTC sharp. Meanwhile, have a good day. See you around.